A warm good morning to you, my dear children. Hope you all are good health. I believe that you had completed or copied the questions I had given you. Did you? Your duty doesn't end there. You should study that. Clear? Okay. So, shall we move on to the session? Last class, we discussed about hormones in plants, isn't it? Who can say what is meant by plant hormones? Plant hormones are chemical substances that are synthesized naturally in plants and are capable of translocation and can control one or more physiological processes when present in minute concentration. That is very important. So likewise, animal also has got particular type of hormones that helps in control and coordination. In the very beginning of this chapter, you had already seen that two systems mainly control and coordinate our body activities: nervous system and endocrine system. And if you had seen the diagram, that time I told you that I will explain about that later. So today we can move on to that session. So you all know about nervous system and the duties performed by different organs associated with which system? Nervous system. So today we can move on to the endocrine system. And what is meant by this endocrine system? And what they produce? And what is their role? These all questions answer you are going to get through today's class. Clear? So these endocrine glands, they produces hormones. Before moving on to this endocrine gland, first you should understand there are mainly two types of glands present in human body. One is the endocrine gland and other one is the exocrine gland. Endocrine and exocrine. You just understand the difference between these two glands. So these endocrine glands, you know that they produces what? Hormones. While these exocrine glands, they produces a particular substance. You all are familiar with it. They are the enzymes. Clear? Yes. Endocrine glands, they produce hormones, while exocrine glands, they produces or they synthesizes enzymes. Can you name at least one example of one enzyme? Yes. Salivary gland is an example of exocrine gland that releases an enzyme known as salivary amylase or otherwise TARI, isn't it? Yes. Then you also know about gastric gland. It's a type of exocrine gland. It produces which enzyme? Enzyme pepsin. Pancreas is a gland that produces pancreatic juice. It consists of mainly three enzymes. Who can say what are they? Trypsin, amylase and lipase. Clear? Yes. So these exocrine glands, they produces enzymes, while endocrine glands, they produces hormones. Hormones are chemical substances that help in growth and all other activities. It helps in control and coordination also. Then what's the function of these enzymes? Yes, it helps in digestive process, isn't it? All the enzymes that you have studied, they help in which process? Digestive process. So here hormones, their duty is not helping in any of the digestive process. Their duty is what? Helping growth and development, helping metabolism, helping maintaining the water balance. So likewise, so many functions are performed by which substances? Chemical substances known as hormones. Then another difference is that endocrine glands, they are the ductless gland, while exocrine gland are this opposite. Tell me what it is. Duct glands. Can you say the difference between ductless and duct glands? Just remember or just recollect what you have studied while we discussed about digestive system. You know that salivary gland is in where? Yes, inside the mouth. It produces salivary amylase. And what does this salivary amylase act? It's in the mouth, isn't it? It doesn't go anywhere else. It functions inside the mouth, and through a opening a salivary duct only, through a particular opening, through a small pipeline only, it gets released to the food item that we eat. It acts on the food item. That's the main duty of these enzymes. They act on the food items. So through a small salivary glands, 3 types of glands are there, and they have a small opening. Through that opening, they releases the enzymes. So they have the duct through the opening is there. But in the case of endocrine glands, they do not have any duct or opening. Then how do they perform or how do they act? These hormones are released directly into the blood. That's very important. Hormones are secreted directly into the blood. And it doesn't act where it is needed. Wherever it is needed, who is transporting it or who is carrying it? It's the blood. Yes. So in the plant hormones also, we already studied that they are translocated, isn't it? They are carried from one part of the plant body to another where it is needed. Similarly, in the case of animal hormones also, they are synthesized in one area, but they are carried to another area where they need to perform. So, these are the main 2 differences between endocrine glands and exocrine glands. Endocrine glands, they releases hormones. Exocrine glands releases enzymes. Endocrine glands are ductless glands, while exocrine glands are duct glands. So now we can move on to the endocrine glands in detail. So you know that these endocrine glands, they releases what? Hormones. So now we can go on to first, I'll explain about hormones. Hormones are chemical substances. If you want, you can note it down. Hormones are chemical substances released by which gland? Released by endocrine gland. First point about hormones, they are chemical substances that are secreted by which gland? Secreted by endocrine gland. First characteristic of these hormones. Second one, they are poured directly into the blood. They are poured directly into the blood. They are poured directly into the blood. Another characteristic feature of hormone, they are poured directly or released directly into the blood. Because they do not have what? Duct. Exocrine glands, they have the duct for releasing the enzymes. While these endocrine glands, they do not have duct, so they release the hormones directly into the blood. Next feature of hormones, they act away from the site where they are synthesized. Where they are synthesized. They act away from the site where they are synthesized. What will be site? Where it is released or where it is secreted. So they act away from the site where they are synthesized. So these hormones, they have got a beautiful name. They are known as chemical messengers. They are known as chemical messengers. One more question for the examination. Why hormones are known as chemical messengers? Because they act away from the site where they are synthesized. So So they are known as what? Chemical messengers. And who is carrying these hormones? Absolutely right. Blood is carrying the hormones. Clear? So these are some of the characteristic features of hormones. Please note it down. They are chemical substances secreted by endocrine glands. They are poured directly into the blood. They act away from the site. Site means the place where it is synthesized. Where they are synthesized, they are known as chemical messengers. The characteristic feature is not yet over. They are released in minute quantities. Another important feature. They are released in minute quantities. Minute as the plant hormones. Animal hormones are also released in minute or low quantities. Another important feature of hormones. So they have another feature. They have target organs. They have target. You know what's the target? A particular area, isn't it? Yes. So these hormones, they will act on the particular organs. They have particular target organs. Next, they help the body to face emergency situation. They help the body to face emergency situation. So these are the characteristic feature of hormones. Hormones are chemical substances secreted by the endocrine glands. Next one, they are poured directly into the blood. They act away from the site where it is synthesized. So they are carried by the blood. So they are known as chemical messengers. They are released in minute quantities. Next one, they have target organs. Finally, they help the body to face emergency situation. So these are some of the characteristic feature of whom, of what is a hormones. Now we can move on to the endocrine glands in detail. These endocrine glands, as I told you, they are ductless glands. Different types of endocrine glands are seen in the human body. These glands, they are nothing, they are a group of cells or tissues. You know, the gastric gland in the stomach, pancreas is a structure, it's also a gland. Gland, they are a group of cells or tissues that performs a common function. So here we can move on to the different types of endocrine glands located in the human body. There are mainly 10 types of endocrine glands. How many types are there? 10 types of endocrine glands are there in the human body. So here we can see the structure of the male. So you can see 9 glands here. So we can start with a hypothalamus. See, it is in the brain. You can see the hypothalamus. In the brain itself, we can see 3 endocrine glands. How many endocrine glands? 3 are there. Hypothalamus. Next one is the pituitary. This is the pineal. So 3 glands are there inside the brain. What are they? They are the hypothalamus. See, pituitary. Next one is the pineal. Then in the throat region, you can see another gland known as, see this one, this is the thyroid gland. In the neck region, you can see the thyroid gland. And see here outside of this thyroid gland, you can see another gland known as parathyroid. So total we discussed about 5 glands, 3 in the brain, that is the hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal. In the neck region, you can see the thyroid, and the outer section of the thyroid, you can see the parathyroid. Then near the trachea, chest region, you can see the another gland known as thymus. Then just come to the pancreas. See, here in this diagram you can see the kidneys here along with the pancreas. Don't get misunderstood that these are seen in the front. The three-dimensional view of the picture you can observe it very clearly. This is not a three-dimensional view. So this kidney, as you all know, they are located at the back, isn't it? Back side or either side of the backbone. We can see the kidneys. So just here kidney is a back. Just opposite the front area you can see which gland. This is the pancreas. You studied about pancreas, hope you remember, isn't it? Now also we discussed about the hormones released by the pancreas, isn't it? So this is a leaf-shaped structure, pancreas. Another two glands are there. Paired glands seen on the top of each kidneys. You can see very clearly on the top of each kidney we can see a paired gland known as adrenal gland. Next we can move to this is the case of male testes. They are situated outside the body of the male. Outside the body of the male, the lower abdominal cavity. Lower part of the male's body, this testis, a paired testis. Testis is situated outside the body, and in the case of female, it is inside the body. These two can't be seen in a same individual. Exceptions are there, transgenders. Otherwise, no, you can't see that these two glands in a single person. Normally, to a normal person, either of these testes or ovary only can be seen. So, testis is seen outside the body of the male, while these ovaries are seen in the lower abdominal region inside the body. It cannot be seen from outside. It is inside the body of the female with structure ovaries. So, hope you get the location of these different glands. They are the hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, parathyroid, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenal gland, testes and ovary. Now we can discuss in detail about the function performed and the hormone released by these glands. First we can discuss about the first endocrine gland, that is the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, you have seen the location here, it is located in the brain and it secretes a main hormone, it is known as the releasing hormone. Hypothalamus, they secrete a hormone known as releasing hormone. Or main one hormone, okay. Main one hormone released by hypothalamus, it is the releasing hormone. Please note down. First write the name of the gland, hypothalamus. Put a hyphen and write it releases, releasing. Very easy to remember, isn't it? Releases which hormone? Releasing hormone. And what is the function of this releasing hormone? It controls the secretion of hormones by the pituitary gland. The function controls the secretion, of hormones by which gland? Hormones by pituitary gland. Hypothalamus, it secretes a hormone known as releasing hormone, and the main function of releasing hormone is that it controls the secretion of hormones by which gland? By the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland releases so many hormones. So who is controlling the pituitary gland there? Hypothalamus. It secretes a hormone known as releasing hormone, and what is the function? It controls the secretion of hormones by pituitary gland. Clear? Now we can move on to the next gland, that is the pituitary. Very important gland. gland secretes main 5 hormones, not like other glands. It's, as I told you, it is very, very important. It secretes mainly 5 hormones. First one, growth hormone. Second one, trophic hormone. Third one, prolactin. Fourth one, vasopressin. Last one, oxytocin. Please note down the main 5 hormones released by the pituitary gland. They are the growth hormone, trophic hormone, prolactin, vasopressin and oxytocin. So these are the main 5 hormones released by which gland? Pituitary gland. First we can discuss about the growth hormone. Who can guess the function of growth hormone? Have you seen the people who are too short and some are too tall, isn't it? Have you seen such people? Too short, we can call them as what? Dwarfs, isn't it? Dwarfism. That condition is known as what? Dwarfism. Please note down. If the growth hormone is very less in the body, that may result in what? Dwarfism. Short. Too short. And if growth hormone is more in the body, that may result in a condition known as gigantism. Another important one mark question. If growth hormone, as the beginning itself, when we discussed about the characteristics of hormone, I already mentioned that they are released in minute or low quantities. If this growth hormone is more, it may result in what? Gigantism. Taller people, tallest one we can say. If it is very less, that may result in what? Dwarfism, short. Then tell me, what's the function of this growth hormone? Growth hormone helps in the growth and development of bones and muscles. Development of bones and muscles. Term indicates it's very easy to remember. Growth hormone helps in the growth and development of bones and muscles. If it is more, it may result in gigantism. If it is very less, it may result in dwarfism. Next one is the trophic hormone. These trophic hormones control the secretion of hormones by other glands. Pituitary gland, they release a hormone known as trophic hormone, and what's the function? Controls the secretion of hormones by adrenal, thyroid, etc. Almost all hormones are under the control of which, all glands are under the control of which hormone? Trophic hormone. They controls the secretion of hormones by parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, testes, ovary, etc. So this is the duty of trophic hormone, controls the secretion of hormones by other glands. It is because of this pituitary is known as the master gland. Very, very important term. Pituitary gland is known as the master gland. It is because it controls the secretion of hormones by all other glands. Pituitary, it controls the secretion of hormone by all other glands. So pituitary is known as the master gland. Clear? Very, very important question for the examination. Why pituitary is known as the master gland? Because it controls the secretion of hormones by other glands. So that is why I told in the beginning it's a very, very important gland. It is situated in the brain. So if brain injury occurs, or see, the function of all these glands will be in trouble. So this brain, as we all know, is a very important structure. Not only it has got what, it controls all our activities. Other than that, important 3 glands are there. If something happens to the brain, definitely all the activities of the body is with it. We can call brain death. The brain undergoes death, no, so all other activities also will be stopped gradually at least. So, growth hormone, you know, trophic hormone, it controls secretion of hormones by all other glands. So, pituitary is known as the master gland. Then prolactin, development of mammary glands in female. Development of mammary. Have you heard about this mammary gland? Mammary gland in females. Have you heard about mammary glands? It's a milk producing gland. It is only in the female. Female, after giving the birth to the baby, mother feeds the baby, isn't it? You all know it. So this gland is seen in the breast region. This prolactin, even though this prolactin, it acts in this mammary gland is seen in the breast area, and who is controlling the development of mammary gland? Normal lady, this mammary gland doesn't work. After birth of the child only, which hormone is released? The prolactin is released by the pituitary gland. When this prolactin is released, the mammary gland begins to develop. Okay, mammary gland begins to develop, to preparing a mother to feed the baby. So the prolactin function is what? Development of mammary glands in females. Next one, vasopressin. Vasopressin main function is that maintains water and electrolytic balance. Water and electrolytic balance. You know, electrolytic means what? Iron, you know, potassium, sodium, magnesium. So different types of ions are present in our body. It should be the very important thing. Sodium, etc. So this vasopressin is the hormone. They regulate or they keep the balance of the electrons in our body. Not only that, maintaining the water balance. And this vasopressin is otherwise known as, one more term is there, it is known as ADH or anti-diuretic hormone. ADH. It is known as what? Anti-diuretic. If you want, you can note down anti-diuretic hormone. AD. Another name of vasopressin. Another name of vasopressin is what? ADH. Anti-diuretic. Those who want, you can note it down. Anti-diuretic hormone. Maintain what? Water and electrolytic balance. The balance of the ions in the body. Sodium ion is there, potassium ion is there, magnesium ion is there, and this Fe ion is there. So all this ion level is maintained by the hormone vasopressin, and maintenance of water balance also. So the formation of urine, even though we know that it depends on the amount of the water that we consume. And this vasopressin also plays a very important role in maintaining the, along with that, it also plays a very important role in maintaining the water balance. So that is the duty of the vasopressin. The last hormone, it is the oxytocin. Oxytocin function is what? Ejection of milk during lactation. Ejection of milk during lactation. You know what is my lactation? Feeding of the baby. The process of giving milk to the baby, that is known as what? Lactation. So here, oxytocin is a hormone that controls the ejection or releasing. All the time the female doesn't produce milk. After giving the birth to the baby only, after the mammary gland gets developed, gradually or slowly, what will happen? The mother's body is well prepared to feed the baby. So the ejection of milk is controlled by which hormone? Oxytocin. So these are the main 5 hormones released by the pituitary gland. Growth hormone function controls the growth and development of bones and muscles. Next one is the trophic hormone. It controls the secretion of hormones by all other glands. Next one, it is the prolactin. development of mammary glands or milk producing gland in female. Next one is the vasopressin. It is otherwise known as ADH or anti-diuretic hormone, and the main function of it is that maintaining the water and electrolytic balance in the body. Last one, it is the oxytocin. The function is the ejection of milk during lactation. So this is about the pituitary gland, which is known as the master gland. Now we can move on to the next gland, that is the pineal. Next gland, it is the pineal gland. This pineal gland, you have seen the location here, isn't it? Base of the brain, we can see the pineal gland. This pineal gland releases a hormone known as melatonin. Note down, pineal gland, this pineal gland, it releases a hormone known as melatonin. The main function of melatonin is what? It delays sexual development and promote sleep. It delays the sexual development. A particular age is there for attaining sexual maturity in the case of both male and female. It should be done in particular age limit. And if this melatonin works properly, gradually what will happen at the particular or the normal time only, the girl or the boy matures. Promotes sleep, induces sleep. What happens when we feel sleepy? You can feel a dizziness, isn't it? We feel it now, if it affects the head, because a dizziness, we have that feeling. It's because of which hormone? It is the melatonin. So the main two functions performed by the hormone melatonin is that it delays sexual development and promotes sleep. Now we can move on to the next hormone, that is the next gland, that is the thyroid. You have seen the location of thyroid gland in the neck region. It releases a main hormone known as thyroxine. And the main function of this thyroxine hormone is the metabolism of carbohydrate, fat and proteins. Carbohydrate, fat and proteins. This is the main function of the hormone thyroxine. Carbohydrate, what is metabolism? Breaking down and utilizing. This breaking down of carbohydrate, you know that what happens, carbohydrate break down to form glucose, and for what the glucose is using? To produce energy. So this is the complete metabolism. Fat, we know that energy production and storage. Protein, breaking down to amino acid. This amino acid is used for the growth and development, etc., etc. So all these processes are under the control of which gland? Thyroid gland. It releases a hormone known as thyroxine, and for this protection of this thyroxine hormone, a very important mineral is needed that we all know, it is the iodine. For the proper functioning of this thyroid. Otherwise, what will happen? The enlargement of the thyroid gland will take place. There is a goiter condition. And don't think that when this enlargement takes place, only you are having or we are having this thyroid problem. In some conditions, it cannot be seen externally. Internally, it affects the whole body part. When we look from outside, we can't see the swelling here. If we see swelling, of course, we can say that that person is having the goiter. So he or she is having this problem. There is the thyroxine problem or thyroid gland problem is there. So that's patient is supposed to take what? Iodine-rich food, that is the seafood, then iodine salt, etc. But some situation, even though it cannot be seen from outside, but internally it is there, it can affect the metabolism or breaking down of when sometimes the person who is having this problem become too fat sometimes. In some situations they become very thin. It is because of the incomplete metabolism or utilization. Some type of thyroid, some situation, some child or adult may become very fat, sometimes very thin. It's because of the incomplete or incomplete metabolism of carbohydrate, fat and proteins. So thyroid gland, it releases the hormone thyroxine. For the production of thyroxine hormone, our body needs a mineral known as iodine, very important mineral. And if this iodine is not there in the top, it can result in what? Goiter. So the function of thyroxine is metabolism of carbohydrates, fats and proteins. We can move on to the next gland, that is the thymus. You can see the location of the thymus. It is near the chest region, near the trachea, and it releases a hormone known as thymosin. Main function of thymosin hormone is to induce what? Immunity. Immunity power. Increases the immunity power is the main function of the hormone thymosin. Thymus gland releases which hormone? Thymosin. Main function is what? It provides immunity. That's the reason why this thymus gland attains its maximum size in the adults, not adult, in the adolescence period. That means you are having the thymus gland maximum size. As the age increases, gradually, you know what will happen? The size get what? Decreased and decreased. So can you relate it with the immunity? As a person grows old, what will happen? The immunity power is getting lesser and lesser. It's one main function is because of the size of this thymus gland. So thymosin is the hormone and it induces or it provides what? Immunity. Next we can move on to the next gland. It is the pancreas. See, this is the pancreas. It's a leaf-shaped structure. When we discussed about digestive system, I told you that this pancreas, they releases enzymes. So two main functions are performed or two main secretions are there for the pancreas. So they are known as what? Heterocrine gland. Heterocrine gland. Because pancreas releases enzymes as well as what? Hormones. So they are known as what? Heterocrine gland. So one mark question for the examination. Name an example of heterocrine gland, that is the pancreas. It releases three main enzymes as you all know: trypsin, amylase and lipase. Similarly, they releases main two enzymes. They are the very important enzyme: insulin and glucagon. These are the main two enzymes released by the gland pancreas. They appears to be a leaf-like structure. So the main two hormones, insulin and the glucagon. Can you say what is the function of insulin? Yes, it converts what? Excess glucose into glycogen. Very important question. What is the function served by the glucose, served by the hormone insulin? It helps in conversion of what? Excess glucose into glycogen and stored in the liver. And what about the function of glucagon? If the body is in need of glucose, this glycogen get converted into what? Glucose. Glycogen get converted into glucose. Sometimes we know that we don't consume the normal quantity of food. That time no. Sometimes we know that time no, our body does not need much insulin. So that it can be stored in the liver as such. But sometimes if you eat more food or more sugar rich food, what happens? This glycogen that is stored in the liver get converted into what? Glucose, and the body is get utilizing it and can maintaining the blood sugar level in the body. It's a duty of these two hormones, insulin and the glucagon. Insulin converts the excess glucose into glycogen and stored in the liver, while glucagon converts excess glycogen that is stored in the liver into glucose and can be utilized for the conversion of or the breaking down of excess glucose in the body. So pancreas, we can call it as what? Heterocrine gland, because it can release the enzymes as well as the hormones. Now we can move on to the next gland, that is the adrenal gland. See the location? Top of each kidneys we can see there the paired gland, and the main hormone secreted by the adrenal gland, it is the adrenaline. Very important hormone, and this adrenaline, it is known as the emergency hormone. This question can be frequently asked for the examination. Why this adrenaline is known as the emergency hormone? Who can say the answer for it? The term itself is the emergency. Yes, it helps an organism to face the emergency situation. What happens when we are about to face any tragic situation or tension and all? We all feel that now our blood pressure increases, heartbeat increases, isn't it? Respiratory rate increases. It all helps our body to face that emergency situation. And whose duty is that? It is the duty of the hormone adrenaline. So it is because of that we can call it as what? Emergency hormone. When we face a dangerous situation, unknowingly we know that when we touch we could feel that heartbeat increases, breathing rate increases, respiratory rate increases, blood pressure increases. These all help our body to face that dangerous situation. So it is known as what? Emergency hormone, and it is released by which gland? Adrenal gland secrete the hormone adrenaline. Then we can move on to the next gland, that is the testes. It is seen it is in outside the male's body, and a pair of testes are there. A pair of testes. They secrete a hormone known as testosterone. Testes situated outside the body, and it is seen inside a bag known as what? Scrotum. And they release a hormone known as testosterone, and the main function of testosterone is giving the secondary sexual character in male. That means the character that separates a male from the female, it is just because of the hormone testosterone. If it is not produced in the proper amount, definitely it can affect the sexual characters of the male. So, a pair of testes is seen outside the body of the male. It is seen inside a muscular bag known as the scrotum, and the hormone produced is known as the testosterone, and the main function of the testosterone is to show secondary sexual characters in male. All the features, appearance of bag, moustache, etc., all these characters are just because of the hormone testosterone. Now we can move on to the last gland that is seen only in the female, that is the ovary. Ovary is seen, unlike the testes, testis is in outside, but this ovary, it is inside the female, and like the testes, a pair of ovaries are seen. A pair of ovaries, you can see the right and the left ovary. So, and they release two main hormones. One is the estrogen, second one is the progesterone. These are the main two hormones released by the ovary. They are the estrogen and the progesterone. As we told about the testosterone, this shows the secondary sexual character in female. Secondary sexual characters in female, it is just because of the hormone estrogen. Then progesterone, it is known as the pregnancy hormone. This hormone is related to the pregnancy or the childbirth time. So this is about the gland ovary. Ovary, a pair of ovaries are there situated outside the body, inside the body of the female, and the releases main two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen, they give the female all the secondary sexual characters like the enlargement of the breast, menstruation, etc. All this is just because of the hormone estrogen, and the progesterone, it is known as the pregnancy hormone. It is released at the time of pregnancy. So these are the main 10 hormones or released by the 10 endocrine glands present in the human body: hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, parathyroid, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenal, testes and ovary. And among these, this pancreas, it is known as the heterocrine gland because they release both the enzymes and the hormones. Other than that, this testis and ovary can also be included under that category. But as it is seen on either in male or female, in this question come for the examination, you first mention about which gland? Pancreas. Heterocrine gland example, pancreas. If more examples are asked, you can write about testis and ovary because testis releases what? Sperms, and ovary releases what? Eggs. It is because of that they can be included under which group? Heterocrine gland. So, with this we come to the end of this lesson. Go through the lesson thoroughly, complete the notes, and study properly and prepare for the examination. And bye from me. Have a great day.